I'm Adrian, the cruise and travel guy. Long-haul flying can be a stressful ordeal for most people, and as much as my work and life is dedicated to travel, and as much as I'm a plane nerd, I really just don't fly very well. So after a recent work trip to Los Angeles, I decided to treat myself and booked a seat in Fiji Airways' most premium class of travel, on board its flagship Airbus A350. I'm going to show you exactly what it was like in this detailed review and why you'll probably love it too. Feel free to use the chapter tool on YouTube to jump to your preferred section. Before booking your next cruise, airfare or holiday package, head to my website first where you can search, compare, and even book your next getaway. Fiji Airways operates only 4 A350s across its entire network, with the planes dedicated to the longest routes. While the airline has several business class products in service, the A350 is where you'll find the best of the bunch. Seats are set out in a 1-to-1 configuration across the cabin, leading to direct aisle access for all 33 of its business class passengers. Laid out in the reverse herringbone style, outboard seats are angled towards the window, while middle seats are angled towards the center of the plane. Even without the doors featured on some brand new business class products from other airlines, the seat still offers an incredible level of privacy. You really can't see anyone else or be seen while you're seated. Check-in at LAX's T-Bit terminal opened exactly 3 hours prior to boarding at 6:20 p.m. I was offered the choice of the Star Alliance Lounge or the One World Lounge, and I chose the former. As expected, it was busy in the lead up to the evening rush of long-haul flights departing the US. But my main interest after being on the go for 12 hours was in having a shower in one of the lounge's 8 shower suites. I was on the wait list for maybe 15 minutes before a shower suite became available. It was just enough time for a stiff drink and then it was time to freshen up. The shower suites are dated and in need of an overhaul, but they're stocked with everything you need. There was a toothbrush and toothpaste, razor, shampoo and body wash, plus a hairdryer. There were also plenty of fresh towels. At around 8 p.m. I decided to check out the food offering. There was a fairly substantial buffet with cold and hot options, as well as self-service soft drinks. The main attraction though was the noodle bar, with a choice of noodle types, various toppings, broths and condiments available for everyone to tailor-make their preferred noodle bowl. While I didn't finish it, I really enjoyed it as a lighter, healthier meal before my flight. Of course, there is a full-service bar in the lounge, plus a range of self-service spirits, wines, and mixers. At check-in, I was told that boarding would begin at 9:20 p.m. on the dot, and I was also informed that the walk from the lounge to the gate was about 20 minutes. So at about 9:10, I started the lengthy journey and got to the gate bang on 9:20. Unfortunately, it took another 30 minutes before boarding commenced, and I'd be lying if I said that wasn't frustrating. Nevertheless, my mood transformed once I was on board. After a warm greeting, I strolled over to my home for the next 11.5 hours or so, seat 15K. I found the cabin to be really striking, with the white and grey colour palette offset by the purple mood lighting. Waiting at each seat was a menu card including an order form for the next day's breakfast, plus a pamphlet to help travellers get to know their seat. There was a pillow and blanket, a small amenities kit that contained some lotions, a toothbrush and toothpaste, some socks and an eye shade, as well as a bottle of Fiji water of course, and noise-cancelling headphones. A hot towel and pre-departure glass of champagne was offered, which I obviously accepted, while I took the chance to become better acquainted with my seat. All in all, it's incredibly well laid out. Along the window side, you'll find 2 storage cabinets, one with 2 USB-A outlets, a universal power outlet, a 3-prong headphone jack, and a touchscreen remote control for the entertainment system. On the aisle side, there's a retractable armrest, which needs to be lowered for taxi, takeoff, and landing, and it hid another storage nook. There was even an additional storage pocket on the window side closer to the ottoman. The tray table slides from ahead of the passenger and can be moved closer or further away, which combined with the retractable aisle side armrest provides free access to get up from your seat during meal service. Each seat also offered personal air vents, which I absolutely love to see on planes. Of the entertainment system, each seat offers an 18-inch touchscreen which sits ahead of the passenger. On it, there was a solid range of movies, TV shows, podcasts, and music to choose from. The variety can't compete with that offered on airlines like Emirates or Singapore, but for a relatively niche product, I think it was totally fine. Plus, the real star of the show is the feed from 2 cameras mounted on the outside of the plane, which provides travelers with the best views of departure and arrival. Before we left the ground, the cabin crew came around for personal introductions and addressed me as Mr. Tassoni. My order for supper was taken, as well as my breakfast card for the next morning, and I was also asked if I would like to order a drink to arrive after takeoff. I obliged. For supper, passengers could choose from options across 3 courses, plus there was an express dining option for those wanting to maximize shut-eye. Our departure was delayed thanks to some last-minute cargo changes, but we soon joined the lengthy queue of departing aircraft and took to the skies at about 11:45 p.m. local time, around 70 minutes past the scheduled pushback time. Roughly 20 minutes after takeoff, another glass of champagne arrived, accompanied by a savory snack mix. And about 15 minutes after that, my table was set and my choice of starter and main arrived on a single tray. The salmon and yellow curry were both really delicious, and I thought the serving size was ample. A selection of bread was also offered shortly after the tray arrived. The coconut and salted caramel pudding was texturally interesting, but the flavor was tops. Soon after my table was cleared, I was once again addressed by the cabin crew by name and asked if I would like my seat set up as a bed. Above each seat in the overhead lockers was a mattress protector and more substantial blanket, and this was set up for me in seconds. The seat converts into a fully flat bed that, when connected to the ottoman, measures about 2 meters in length. It's not the widest seat, but retracting that aisle side armrest does open up some more elbow room. With the mattress topper, comforter and pillow, I managed to get about 4 hours of broken sleep. I find it's actually more comfortable to raise the backrest a little, and the touch panel made adjusting that really simple and straightforward. I gave up the idea of sleep at about 5:30 a.m. Fiji time, I think, and at that point I tried to connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi. Business class passengers receive free access to the Wi-Fi via a coupon that is handed out. But I really struggled to get connected, and once I did, it was almost unusable. I could do a few things on social media, but for example, loading the YouTube Studio app just didn't work at all. I should also point out that after waking up, I was quickly noticed by the cabin crew and asked if I would like a drink or a snack, which I declined. A couple of hours later, the cabin lights came slowly to life, and breakfast service commenced as per the order form submitted the night before. Coffee arrived accompanied by a hot towel, and I have to give a shout out to the hot towels on Fiji Airways. The smell is just perfection. It's as though a fruit salad took some sort of luxurious coconut milk bath, was then passed through pineapple directly into the towel, which then makes it directly into your hands and your face. It is completely delicious and invigorating. Once again, my tray table was set and breakfast was served, with my starter and main arriving separately. The Greek yogurt parfait was tangy and sweet, but I didn't quite finish the 2-egg omelette, which was a little on the dry side. Being Fiji's official airline, flights between the US and Australia come with a short stopover in Nadi. We touched down almost 11.5 hours after pushback in LA, 1 hour or so behind schedule. With my luggage checked through to Sydney, my only job was to walk the short way into the terminal, through to the international transit queue where my passport and onward boarding pass were checked, through a security screening, and over to the Fiji Airways lounge. All in all, from the plane to the lounge took about 10 minutes. The lounge, though, might just be the short stick of this journey. While it's a nice space, it was incredibly busy during my morning stopover. Still, there is a full bar and barista, and I had the best coffee of the entire trip in that lounge. A small buffet offered cold and hot food options, although I couldn't bring myself to have anything after eating and sitting for the past 12 hours. But I did book myself in for another shower and was allotted a strict limit of 15 minutes, which was plenty of time to quickly freshen up for the remainder of the trip. Our departure was slightly delayed, with boarding commencing at about 10 to 9, pushing things back by about 30 minutes. On board, I again chose a window seat back in aisle K, and it was the perfect place to wind down this lengthy journey. Pre-departure, another deliciously scented hot towel was offered, as well as champagne, juice, or water. No prizes for guessing what I chose. At the seat was a menu, pillow and blanket, but no amenity kit was offered for this roughly 4.5-hour daytime flight. Like my earlier flights, my order for breakfast was taken before we took off. About 30 minutes after we were airborne, more champagne arrived, thank you very much, along with soda water, and then my pea and potato curry dosa arrived about 15 minutes after that. My second breakfast was delicious, much better than the omelette offered on the earlier flight. Australia's antiquated paper arrival cards were passed out, along with another Wi-Fi coupon, although I didn't really bother with it after my earlier experience. Being a short daytime flight, I was able to just stretch out and relax, watch a movie, have a drink or two, and watch the time pass. One thing that I will call out though is the cleanliness or lack thereof of the bathrooms. On both flights, these really degraded quite quickly, and this was really strange for me because I had flown with Singapore Airlines, ANA and Asiana earlier this year, and experienced nothing like what I saw in the business class bathrooms on those flights. It really became quite rank. And I have to say that even on my flight over to LA, which was in economy on American Airlines, the bathroom was kept in a better state. So that's something that definitely could be worked on. As the plane approached the Australian East Coast, I had a great opportunity to think about the flight as a whole and whether it's worth the hassle of a short stopover in Fiji. One of the things that became apparent very quickly after boarding the plane in LA is that Fiji Airways offers some of the best in-flight service that I've ever experienced in my life. For those of you who remember Virgin Australia's 777 business class product, this was the closest I had come to finding that level of service again. The cabin crew were truly wonderful. Professional, yes, but genuinely interested in making sure that their passengers were comfortable. That Fijian sense of hospitality which the country is famous for is echoed perfectly aboard its national airline. Add to that the fantastic private seating, solid in-flight entertainment offering, and generally good food, and I think it's almost impossible to beat Fiji Airways for the long trip across the Pacific. I paid just under $6,500 one way for this flight, which is a lot, but compared to the $8,000 to $12,000 being charged for the admittedly direct flights on other airlines such as United, American, and Qantas, the value proposition was a no-brainer. A few extra hours on the ground was a small trade-off for more money in my pocket and arguably some of the best service I've ever experienced in the sky. I hope you enjoyed that review of Fiji Airways business class product on board its A350. It's worth noting that some flights do get downgraded to the A330, which is not a comparable product, and I think that's the downside of a smaller airline with a very small fleet of only 4 of this aircraft type, at least for the time being. Still, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you traveled on Fiji Airways? Do you agree that their service is some of the best that you've experienced? I just have to say that consistently across those 2 flights, it was excellent. When you're ready to book your next holiday, whatever that is, head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguide.com.au. Make sure you give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guide to stay up to date with my travels as they happen. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As much as what? I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel. Oh, God. Long haul travel can be an ordeal for most people, and as much as travel and what?